Hello, Bible Fellowship Church. Hey, you guys, welcome back to part 2 in our Digging Deeper series on the subject of perseverance. I hope you guys tuned in last week as we're walking through the book of Acts together, looking at what God is doing in the life of the Apostle Paul and how God is using him in powerful ways and how he's working and just persevering. And man, this is a great subject for us, Daniel.
Yeah, it is. And actually, I asked you for the second video of this series if you would share a little bit about a personal story of perseverance that we had to experience as a church.
Yeah, you bet, man. We were just talking about this, guys, a few minutes ago, and I was trying to think of what it is, that I could share with you that would illustrate this idea, and I came up with a good one. Okay, so a year and a half ago, so I'm going to take you guys back to the summer of 2022. Okay, I had an opportunity to meet the Israeli Consul General, Dr. Hillel Newman.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. I was in his house. It was just incredible. Like, I'm in Los Angeles, in his house, getting frisked and checked by the IDF. And it was amazing, you guys. And so, but
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody use those terms to describe being searched before.
They let me in, so everything was good. But anyway, but there was an opportunity to bring Dr. Newman to our city. And I had this vision. It was just like, let's see if we can bring him here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and introduce him to some of our community leaders and see if our community would come together in solidarity for the people of Israel. And so this vision arose for me, and I began talking with one of Dr. Newman's contacts. He was the guy that originally introduced me to him, and he was kind of his right-hand guy, and his name is David. And so I was like, David, I've got this great plan.
Yeah.
What if we get him here on September 11th, okay?
Yeah.
And David says, well, let me check with the Consul General. And so he checks with Dr. Newman, and he gets back to me. He says, yeah, his schedule's open. It's going to be perfect. I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting the Consul General to come to Hemet
right
on 9/11.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, long story short, Daniel, it fell through. And it was like a few weeks before, David calls me and he's like, ain't gonna happen. Can't get him here.
It's so stressful,
and I'm
man.
talking to the pastors in the community. I'm talking to our council members. I'm working all this. And then I have to make that dreaded phone call and say, sorry, you guys, it's not gonna happen. And so I got over that. October rolls around. We set another date in October, and I was all excited. And I'm telling everybody, okay, he's coming. We got to get ready. Get your proclamations together. Let's make the votes in City Hall. Let's get it signed. And then again, a couple of weeks before, nope, can't come. Something came up. A conflict came up. And man, I'm getting really discouraged.
Yeah.
So 3 times that happened. It happened again the following month in November. And I threw up my hands. I was frustrated. I was frustrated with David. It wasn't really his fault, but I was frustrated with him.
Just the circumstances, but probably,
I'm frustrated with the Consul General. I'm like, come on, man. And so I reasoned in my mind, I'm like, all right, you're dead to me. I'm done with you guys.
You're dead to me.
That's not a good attitude, by the way. And so David calls me back up about a month later. He says, Chris, listen, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna try again.
Yeah.
And I said to David on the phone, I said, no, David, I can't do this again. I'm sorry, man.
You've already broken my heart 3 times.
You guys have canceled on me 3 times. I've had to go back to our mayor, our council, the pastors, and just tell them, sorry, you guys, it's not happening this time. And I said 3 times in a row, I got burned. You know that old phrase?
3 strikes, you're out.
Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. Well, I got burned 3 times. I mean, I'm eating a lot of shame. So he convinced me. He was like, no, it's going to work. It's going to work. And I'm like, oh, man, okay, fine. Right. So he says, February 12th, we'll bring out, he's free. We're going to be there in Hemet. So get it all set up, whatever. So I start working to get it all set up again. And a week goes by, and I pull up my calendar, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, February 12th is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm like, that's the worst Sunday. You can have any event, like, okay, do you want to watch the Super Bowl, or do you want to come to church and see the Israeli Consul General? I mean,
it's after church, actually. People they're like, I already paid my dues.
No, it was literally during the game, man.
Yeah,
like he's coming in the evening while the game's going full. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord.
They don't want to come.
And so, but all that to say, okay, 4th time around, the Consul General comes, the church is full.
Yep.
The The city councils from Hemet and San Jacinto are here.
Right.
They have voted among themselves and signed proclamations individually of solidarity. We had a number of pastors here who also had signed a declaration of solidarity.
There was like
Israel.
8. There was at least 8 or 10.
And we were able to present him with all 3 proclamations. It was monumental. And we didn't know that in 2023, October 7th was coming, and that this great war with Hamas was going to erupt, and Hezbollah to the north of Israel, and all these things were going to happen. We didn't know that conflict was going to come, and that anti-Semitism was going to rise to a level that we haven't seen in my lifetime. And but God knew, and in His sovereignty, He worked it all out perfectly, beautifully.
Yeah.
And by the way, 2023 is the 75th anniversary of the nation of Israel. If we had done it in 2022, we would have been 1 year early for the 75th anniversary. And so on Israel's 75th birthday, our church and our community and our leaders and the pastors in our area were able to come together to honor the people of Israel. What an incredible thing. So speaking of perseverance, I am so glad that we persevered. Now, it wasn't willingly. Like, I wasn't willing the whole time. Oh, but God
that fourth time around, you're like,
God could still work with me, man. I'll never forget having the IDF on our campus here in this place. And Dr. Newman was on this stage right here.
I got to talk to one of his security guards, and pretty cool guy. Really,
what an
really
amazing
nice
day, Daniel.
Yeah.
But the blessing of perseverance. There is a blessing. You know, the only failure, we said this last week, the only failure is to quit. And I was ready to quit, man. Like, I was ready to fail hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's God's message to us. You know, Paul said these words. He says, I planted, Apollos watered, but it was God who brought the increase. And so the idea behind this is that the success, the heavy lifting, is God's. That's His job.
Right.
Our job is simply to be obedient, to plant, to water, to persevere.
Yeah. And so much good comes out of not quitting. Like, imagine if Moses had quit.
Right.
Imagine if David had quit.
Right.
Imagine if Abraham had quit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it would have sucked. Like, none of us would be here.
Oh, yeah. And so their perseverance, resulted in generational blessings. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so true. So anyways, I hope that encouraged you guys. I hope that when you're facing opposition that you say, no, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on plugging away. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. And that you'll persevere to the end. And you'll get to see, because I'm convinced of this, you'll get to see the miracles of God in your life if you do that. It's been true for us. And I know it's going to be true for you guys. So God bless you guys today. And make sure you tune in, you guys, for church on Sunday if you're watching somewhere online. Or if you can come personally, join us on Sunday. It's always a lot of fun to be here in the house of the Lord together. And so anyways, God bless you guys, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Pastor Chris.